Yo, what's up, KST Nation? What's up, KST family? It's your boy, KST Hero. My apologies. But today, I'm going to be doing a deck profile on a much weighted archetype that I'm doing. If you notice, the camera is a little bit different. It's because the camera stand's broken. But today, we're going to be doing Superheavy Samurais. Superheavy Samurais is a full monster-based deck. It does have a decent extra deck. It's very slow, but it's somewhat efficient. But other than that, let's get into the deck profile. So for main deck stuff, there's nothing much going on except for monsters. So first things first, you need 2 copies of Flutist. What Flutist does when you normally summon it, you contribute it to summon a Superheavy Samurai monster for free, regardless of the level or attribute. Most of them are Earth, and a couple of them are just fire, I believe. No, they're all Earth. Yeah, all Earth. But they're mostly fire. Well, one of them's fire, which is so hard. But either way, it varies. So let's say if you drew Flutist and also Big K. You contribute Flutist to some Big K in the defense position, and then you already got set up right just off the bat. So that's one reason why you want 2 of him. Like I said before, you run 2 Big Ks. Sorry. 3 copies of Trumpeter. Another tuner, 3 copies of Battle Baller, 3 copies of Giga Gloves. Well, Battle Baller and Giga, I was going to say, but what Battle Baller does, it basically says, just as long as you have another Superheavy Samurai monster on the field, doesn't matter where it is on the field, if your opponent has one or if your opponent has a monster, you can literally use their level and synchro summon with your opponent's monster, regardless. 2 copies of Helper. 3 copies of Helper. 3 copies of Drum. 3 copies of Scale. 3 copies of Soul Armor, 3 copies of Soul Peacemaker, 3 copies of Soul Buster Gauntlet, 3 copies of Soul Bang Cannon, and 3 copies, and you need 3 copies of this, Soul Piercer. Because what Piercer basically does is when you put it on any defense position Superheavy Samurai monster, it does piercing damage with its defense. And what makes it so unique is when this card is destroyed, it basically allows you to special summon a Superheavy Samurai monster from your basically it lets you search for a Superheavy Samurai monster from your deck to your hand. So let's say you basically summon this card, play it, don't equip it to a monster, or just equip it to a monster. Your opponent summons that monster, you can put Piercer out of play, search your deck for, let's say, Big K, you have Big K, and let's say if you have Flutist in the hand, you play Flutist, tribute Flutist, summon out Big K, you're making plays right there. Then, last but not least, we have 3 copies of Superheavy Samurai Soul Claw. Soul Claw basically allows you to be indestructible, basically cannot be destroyed by battle. The Superheavy Samurai monster you equipped it to basically says you cannot destroy it by battle. Then on top of that, at any given time during either player's turn, you can special summon that card from the spell or trap card zone to the monster zone at will. So it kind of brings the question: are these super heavy equipped cards Union monsters, or do they become equipped spell cards? And if they do, can't you target them with MST and stuff? Leave down in the comments below if you think that's how they work. Other than that, let's get into the extra deck. That's enough of the main deck. But actually, you know what? I actually want to do something that I haven't done on this channel. I'm going to give a few honorable mentions to the main deck. Now, if you're not comfortable with that stuff in the main deck, you can either add, here are some options. These are honorable mentions for the main deck. 3 copies or 2 copies of Soul Breaker armor. 2 or 3 copies of Soul Beads. And if you don't use them now, you can always keep 3 copies on hand of all of these. Soul Horns. I like Soul Horns. I might be adding the Soul Horns in the deck somehow. Because that thing basically allows you to attack twice. And on top of that, doesn't it give you a defense buff? No, it just prevents it from being destroyed, the monster from being destroyed by battle. And allows you to attack twice during each battle phase. 2 copies for if you're doing a pendulum style, I suggest get 3 copies of General Jade and 3 copies of General Coral. Both of their pendulum effects and monster effects are pretty dope, and I like them. For outsourcing help, I'd get 3 copies of Gallus the Star Beast. He has a really decent effect, and it goes perfectly in this deck. If you want to, keep 1 extra copy of Gauntlet, but I highly doubt you're allowed to run 4. I already have one in the main deck, but that's one I accidentally ordered by accident. 3 copies of Super Heavy Samurai Fists. Sorry about that. It's one of my old camera stands. I never thought I had to use it. 3 copies of Prep Defender. And this is one of my favorites. 3 copies of Magnet. Someday I might want to add him, but right now I just use the standard build that I have. But other than that, let's get into the side deck. I mean the extra deck, which is nothing but synchros. Now we got the formalities out the way. Let's get into the heavy, hard-hitting stuff. So what you need to run in the extra deck is 2 copies of Kaibu. 2 copies of Susanoo. It's not Susanoo, it's Susanoo. I don't know where everybody keeps getting Sunobo from. Three copies of Ogre Shantanaji. 3 copies of Stealth Ninja. 3 copies of Ninja Saratobi. And for the big boss himself, 2 copies of Steam Train King. And you only need 2. And the one thing about him, if your opponent is dumb enough to let you get Steam Train out, they're finished. Especially in Link Summon format, all he has to do is just sit up there and look pretty, and you just equip as many of the equip cards that you can to him, and he just sits there and looks pretty the entire time. Well, or in this case, ugly. But that's it for the Super Heavy Samurai Extra deck. And it's really good. I like the way how this deck is traversed. Well, this has been my deck profile on the Super Heavy Samurais. I hope you guys enjoy it. I really like this deck. The main character of Arc 5, Gong, was one of my favorite characters. He was basically like the new-aged Joey Wheeler fused in with Chun-Li, and that's why I kind of really admired his character a lot. And he kind of reminds me of me because I love samurais, I love machines, and this deck really brings out that love with this archetype. It's really fun. It's really great. I would not suggest bringing this to shops or regionals because of the simple fact of it's very, very slow. Unfortunately, it really is slow. As far as it getting any kind of love in the link summon format, I highly doubt it. If they do, it's going to probably be a bull shot in the dark, like something random they just do. And Konami's known for doing random stuff, but I highly doubt they'll ever give this deck link format love. I'm really actually grateful that they did give it some Pendulum love with the Pendulum versions with Jade and Coral, which is really interesting. But as far as that, that's just about as much love as this deck is going to get, unfortunately. But it is a good deck to run for fun around your friends in casual plays. I would recommend it if you're into big, heavy style, defensive. This is a perfect deck for a person that just plays defensively, and it's a really good deck. This literally is a deck that if you are a person that comes into the game and you want to play defensively and not offensively all the time, this is the perfect deck for you. A lot of decks can't get over this deck, which is really good, but the only way that you really can't you can get over it is if you prevent your opponent from summoning any monsters and activating their effects. That is literally the only way you can slow this deck down, and it's really easy to do that with this against this deck. Other than that, my biggest warning: if you see anybody running super heavies like this or any other variant, as I've showed you, one big advice: do not let them get momentum. That is one thing about super heavies. They're big, they're strong, they're like the Juggernaut. If they get their momentum going and you let them, you are literally making the biggest mistake, because as soon as they sit there, they're never going away. They're going to sit there in defense, buffed up. I will literally tell you, Mirror Force does not work on them at all. I think Pitch Black Mirror Force or Shadow Mirror Force, I forgot which one that is. There's a Mirror Force that does, I think, targets monsters that can attack and defense. I'm not sure, but if there is, let me know in the comments below. But other than that, this has been my deck profile once again on these Super Heavy Samurais. I hope you guys enjoy it. Like I said, you can write it down the deck list. If you want to, you can get these cards for pennies to the dollar. It's really cheap to build this deck, and it's really, really fun. Other than that, I'm out. Now, I did say before I was going to do a Ritual Archetype Pure build, and I meant it. So be sure to stay tuned along this week or probably Sunday, where I will do the deck profile on the Cyber Gymnast and the Cyber Goddess deck. This is based off the pure Alexis Rose build with the Cyber Gymnast with the Cyber Angels. Yes, I know the Cyber Angel build is built a different way competitively before you put in the comment sections. This is my pure Cyber Angel build. This is a deck build for fun. And like I said before in previous videos, if you want competitive deck builds, this is not the channel for you. But I will gladly recommend you to a lot of other YouTubers that can do that job better than I can. The only decks I've ever shown on this channel that were basically not pure archetypes were my Evil Heroes and I believe my Heroics. But outside of my Performer pals, because I had to outsource to Odd Eyes Dragon, because he actually works in both either Magicians, Zark Magicians, and also Performer pals. Other than that, there's really no reason for me to actually, because to put it simple, I enjoy the game the way I want to. If I want to build pure archetypes, okay. If I lose, who cares? If they don't work as well as I plan them to, okay, good for you. You can actually do that. But as far as my channel and the way it goes, I like to build my archetypes pure. Now, for those of you that don't understand, I apologize if you do not get the purpose or reason. That is the reason why we're all called individuals. I am literally basically up to here with people saying, you can build this a certain kind of way to be better. Yes, I know. I realize that. I've done the research. I choose to do the opposite. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Enjoy yourself. Other than that, I digress and I'm done with ranting. This is going to be a very interesting build. It does have a small extra deck, but most of the power comes from the main deck. And you will see that in action when I do the deck profile on it. Other than that, it's your boy Chaos Hero, and I'm jumping out of the chaos to show you what's awesome and very interesting and intriguing for you. Bye!